Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
Hey, it's Miles. Thank you guys for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast.
Have you heard our newest podcast? It's called The Greatest Story Never Told.
Download it today on radio.com. Be sure to subscribe. New episodes are uploaded every Tuesday at noon.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Stephen Throwhill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today we toast Courtney Olson of Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, Courtney is a bodybuilder and the owner of Girl Clothing Athletic Wear Line. And she recently celebrated the opening of her new store right there in Vegas. And what better way to celebrate a store opening than by inviting people to watch you break a world record? Now, as a bodybuilder, you might think that she was gunning for a world record in, I don't know, bench presses or squats or the snatch or the clean and jerk. You might think that, but you would be wrong. No, Courtney decided to pursue the holy grail of world records. That's right. How many seconds it takes to crush 3 watermelons between your thighs.
Right.
Apparently, if you do this, 3 is the total. You don't try 4, you don't do 2, it is 3. Now, I know what you're thinking. How could anyone even dream of beating Iranian bodybuilder Rohola Dashmanziari's record of 3?
Zarar.
Yeah, my mistake. His record of 3 watermelons crushed in 10.88 seconds. Or even female champion Olga Liashkak's record of 14.65 seconds. Well, Courtney, she went for it. And now Courtney is the world record holder after she crushed 3 watermelons between her thighs in 7.5 seconds. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Not only does she have the world record, she absolutely crushed the male world record as well. And if you would like to learn the valuable secrets of watermelon crushing for yourself, great news. Courtney announced that on August 3rd, she'll be teaching a class on watermelon crushing because, and I know I don't have to say this to you, August 3rd is obviously National Watermelon Day. By the way, I Googled a picture of this woman. I am not surprised. When I say she is a large woman, like bodybuilding, that it is unbelievable. You look at her thighs, man, and I can't believe it even took her that long to crush 3 watermelons.
Would you be scared if you were dating her to,
Yes, I would. No, I mean, like, here's what, and honestly, this was my thought this morning, right? If I'm canyon yodeling and she's the person, and this sounds...
You're in a vice.
I don't want to do a good job.
Why?
Oh, yes. Right, because...
Right.
Because I don't want my... And I'm,
right.
Like, that was my honest-to-God thought. Like, because she's... I would actually have to do the worst job ever.
How'd you pop your eardrums, John?
Yeah. Good Lord, man. She is... Have you seen her picture of her?
No, I don't want to see it.
Yeah, it is... her thighs are something. Anyway, congratulations, Courtney. You watermelon crushing machine. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bitola!
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Throwhill, could you please start on Profile This, please?
I can. A quick comment regarding the bath.
Oh, yes.
So speaking of baths, I'm literally taking a bath right now. Enjoying a delicious glass of whiskey. Love you guys. No, I'm not touching myself. We weren't even going to ask. You just do what you got.
That from Bertha.
Yeah.
Rhonda.
I ain't touching myself, but Gary is.
Hey, Wanda, come over here and loo for me.
Gary has a snorkel. He's going to work.
Hey.
All right.
Is that a film in my fat roll?
Hey.
What is that? Is that a mucus? What is that?
Hey, there's still some beans in that bowl. Don't take it out yet.
I dare you stick your finger in my belly button and smell it.
Some people it knocks it out. Some people it's a smelling salt.
Ooh, socks.
Oh, by the way, Miles, since you asked, it's a very simple game to play. Mm-hmm. We share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Austin. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola. All right, Austin, you understand how this here game is played?
Yes, I do.
Fantastic. Then you know you have your choice of one of three stories. The Wonderful World of Drugs. We have Bite Me. In other words, what did someone find in their food? And finally, Interior Decorating, where you guess the foreign object that ended up on the inside of someone.
Let's go interior decorating.
Let's.
All right, here is your story. We go to the fine country of Italy, where an unnamed man, and I'm sure he appreciates that, turned up at the hospital with a 23-inch long object lodged inside of him. He decided he'd need expert help. That's when the red-faced 31-year-old went to the hospital 24 hours after the object became stuck. Now, he told doctors he was suffering from mild abdominal pain, but other than that, had no symptoms that were causing concern. Well, x-rays showed a, quote, long and large-sized foreign body in his colon. Doctors tried to remove the object using standard techniques where a tube and a grabbing device is inserted. But due to the, quote, smoothness and size of the object, none of the tools that the medics had were able to grab a hold of it. The grabbing devices were either too loose or simply didn't have the range to latch on to such a large foreign body. So stuck for ideas on how to remove the object, the quick-thinking medics, they invented a new tool. I wondered if they'll name it after him. Anyway, using medical wire to latch onto it and then pull it out. Threading the wire through a catheter tube to create a noose at the end, they were able to insert the tube into the man's rectum and then reach the thing. The noose of wire was then looped around the object like a lasso and tightened until doctors had enough grip to pull it out.
Like an Italian Western.
There you go. The patient was discharged the same day and suffered no further symptoms. Now, the question is, what was stuck in him? But keep in mind, it took him 24 hours to go to the doctors because he had spent the entire day trying to remove it himself. Was it a bottle? Was it a cucumber? Was it a hose? Or was it a dildo? So you have bottle, cucumber, hose, or dildo. One of those things was inserted into the backside of him, and he could not get it out.
Oh, jeez. Well, first instinct, I'm thinking a hose, just based off of the diameter of normal hoses. You said it was 23 inches in length?
23 inches in length, yes.
Jesus.
I know, man. He swung for the fences,
I don't think
brother.
what bottle that would be. You know what I mean? Like that Frangelico.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe the Frangelico bottle.
That is an Italian.
I'm thinking a hose. What are you guys thinking?
It should be none of the above.
That is a big ass cucumber. You know what? I'm going to go dildo because they could feasibly be that size. Are you going to stick with hose there, Austin?
Yeah, we'll stick with it.
Okay, I've never seen a cucumber that big, and if it's a bottle, that's a big champagne bottle. All right, we're going to find out what this guy accidentally or maybe on purpose.
It was on purpose.
Put in his backside. Was it a bottle, a cucumber, a hose, or dildo next?
That was a tease.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Category is interior decorating on profile. This Italian man shoved something up his backside there. Waited 24 hours to go to the hospital. They do all kinds of crazy MacGyvering to get it out of there. Something was way up into his intestines and into his stomach.
Yeah, that is correct.
Question is, what was in there? Was it a bottle, a cucumber, a hose, or a dildo?
And that is the very question that we posed to you, my friend Austin, and you went with a hose. You said, look, it was 23 inches long. It's a smooth surface. Makes sense, but it turns out it was not, in fact, a hose. Sorry, Austin. You don't know your butt stuff. Mr. Montgomery, you went with the dildo. Just said, look, man, I mean, it's a straight-up sex toy. Obviously, the guy inserted this on purpose, right? So that makes some sense. And
All right. Know your butt play.
Miles just told me outside that when I said it was in Italy, and it's a smooth object, 23 inches long, he's like, I thought for sure you're going to say a pepperoni steak.
You know what I'm talking about. Big old stick of pepperoni. Anyway, now for all TV news all the time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
It's my car.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I have got some hard-hitting, breaking news when it comes to probably my favorite subject when it comes to behind the scenes in the world of television. Some breaking news here. Are you ready for this? A lot of the sounds that you hear in nature documentaries don't actually come from nature. Indeed. They come from a guy in a room making noises with random stuff. He's called a Foley artist.
Yes.
We've worked with Foley artists here before.
With Live Day.
It says it can be hard to capture natural sounds for various reasons. Sometimes the camera is too far from the action. Sometimes the subject being filmed is just simply too small to make noises that you can actually hear. The guy who creates those sounds, like we said, is a Foley artist, and a profile on a Foley artist named Richard Hinton shows some of those tricks, like stretching out a slinky to add sounds to a spider shooting a web or something of that sort, just to make things a little bit more entertaining.
I guess, you've never really heard a spider making a web.
Exactly. But this is, like I said, one thing that I really enjoy about TV, one thing I enjoy about movies is pulling back the curtain. I love seeing all the outtakes. I love seeing the small intricacies that we don't ever get to see. I like seeing I remember there was one time I saw Hugh Jackman during production of one of the Wolverine movies. He was actually in a studio recording audio lines that he had already acted out. He was watching himself on a screen, and he was roaring into a microphone, and he was making running, grunting noises and everything in between.
There going,
Exactly. So I love those behind the scenes looks, and that's what got me inspired to make this to search out this list.
You don't
for today.
think about that for nature documentaries.
Action
movies and everything else. I mean, of course.
Exactly.
It just doesn't come top of mind.
I think I watched where one of them, he was like running his fingers over like a piece of paper or a piece of tape to simulate it walking. It just made little pitter patter sounds. Just anything like that to add. They're completely innocuous. He gets almost no credit other than like 2 minutes down inside the ending credits of who actually made all these noises.
But then it's always in between, like Peter Attenborough.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or Peter Coyote, like, he walks for miles.
Exactly. Paper.
4 months later.
But this inspired me because this wasn't the only thing that they have added sounds to, and this is from mentalfloss.com, and these are 10 iconic movie sounds and how they were made. So, Miles, could you fire up the top 10 machine here for me? Because I'm gonna test you guys. The first few of these you may not know, but definitely as we go down the line, you guys know what they are.
Number 10.
You've definitely heard this in movies before. Do you guys recognize this sound? That is called the Wilhelm scream.
Yes.
It is first used during the 1951 film Distant Drums when an alligator attacks a soldier, played by Sheb Woodley, drags him underwater, and we hear... Later got its name from the charge at Feather River, in which a character named Private Wilhelm gets shot in the leg with an arrow and makes that iconic yell. Over the years, sound designers have used the effect in movies as a hidden inside joke amongst colleagues. The Wilhelm scream was popular for its use in Star Wars, Raid of the Lost Ark. It appears in countless other movies.
Everyone uses the scream. If there's a scene that makes sense, and like you said, it's just directors paying homage to each other.
Absolutely. Right? That's exactly what it is. And I think they're still using the sound today.
Right.
I feel like there was a movie that came out within the last 2 years.
But now they tell you, hey man, listen for the Wilhelm scream.
So that's really the only origin one there.
Number 9.
You've all heard it before. What is this iconic noise?
That's the T-Rex, right?
Jurassic Park?
No, it is not. That is Godzilla. That's the other big dinosaur out there. Do you guys know what made the Godzilla roar?
I mean, good little pinch.
Play it again.
So here you go, real quick, Godzilla.
Trombone?
No. Originally, I had heard that it was like the studio gate opening, but here's the thing.
Jesus.
Yeah, right. The film's composer had the idea to use musical instruments to create the monster's iconic sound instead, so he says it, quote, it was actually a double bass using a leather glove coated in pine tar resin to create friction.
Now that you say it, I can hear it, but I would have
Just see him
never guessed that.
scraping
Oh, you'd
his
have missed
hand
a pine
across
tar.
double
You'd have
bass.
missed a pine tar. You know that.
That's Godzilla, huh?
10 iconic movie sounds and how they were made. Do you guys, this was going to be a little bit more difficult. Do you recognize this monster's roar? It is from my favorite movie franchise. That is the Balrog from the Fellowship of the Ring of Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
So it's this mystical demon-looking thing. It's covered in rock and fire and all this stuff.
Oh, was
right?
he the You Shall Not Pass?
That's exactly
He's
right.
the he didn't have the whole pass.
That is correct.
Okay.
So, hang on a second.
Hey, they're singing.
No, they didn't actually use the demon to create his own noise.
So the sound designer created the deep drones of the Balrog by recording the sounds of a cinder block being dragged across a wooden floor, and he wanted to give the audience the feeling that the monster was trapped underground for centuries. Let's see, there was also moments where it really needed a vocal bellow. They used donkeys and horses for the bells and any kind of pain vocals.
Okay.
So there you go.
That's ridiculous. That's a donkey and a cement block.
We all know this particular tool.
Okay, knife, sword.
I mentioned him earlier. That is Wolverine. That is Wolverine's claws as they come out. So the X-Men sound designer used the sound of a knife being drawn from a sheath mixed with the sound of a chicken or turkey carcass being torn apart. Because his flesh needs to part when the blades come out.
Right.
So there you go. There's Wolverine's claws.
How many chickens died for that movie?
Exactly.
Chicken is delicious.
10 iconic noises. Here's number 6. It is an iconic action movie scene.
Like Ben-Hur or something?
No, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh, the big rock thing.
That is
rolling.
the boulder. So the boulder, of course, wasn't real. It was made of fiberglass to sell the audience on its authenticity. Sound designer used the sound of a car set in neutral coasting down a gravel road. It's this Honda Civic.
I bet you got a nicer car after that movie came out.
Yeah. And then you know what happened after that? Someone stole that Honda Civic and raced it and crashed it at 1 o'clock in the morning someplace.
Number 5.
So I don't have to tell you what this one is because you already know the sound from it. It is from Psycho. What I want you to try to hear is the sound of the actual stabbing that takes place within Psycho. So you heard a couple little pluts in there.
Let me get knife to a watermelon or something.
That's exactly right. Alfred Hitchcock achieved this by stabbing through countless melons to find the perfect one for the scene. He actually sat in there while the sound designer was in there just stabbing at different melons, and Alfred Hitchcock just sat there with his eyes shut, just listening to the different stabbing sounds.
Weightlifter didn't need that. She just busted him with her thighs.
Because every time I stab a watermelon, I'm like, baby, this reminds me of killing that guy.
10 iconic movie sounds and how they were made.
Number 4.
This is from a popular sci-fi series.
0.9.
Any guess there?
I don't. What's the movie?
Star Trek.
A fan, maybe?
That is the warp drive from Star Trek, and here's what it says. The original warp drive sound was a very musical tone that ramped up and down in pitch with all kinds of hum and distortion. It was undoubtedly produced with a test oscillator going through a plate reverb chamber. So it's an oscillator that they've just kind of distorted a little bit there.
Okay.
So these are the top 10 iconic movie sounds
Number 3.
and how they were made from the Terminator 2 franchise. That is the T-800 phasing through the bars. It's all the sound that he made when it changed. So here's the sound effect. I got it. What do you got, Miles?
That is some really juicy chicken.
Close. You are so close.
Somebody's slurping water.
No, the sound designer revealed that he came up with a very cost-effective way that involved a lot of dog food slowly being sucked out of cans.
Not too far off. Actually, I should get that.
Yeah.
You should, because you know what? To be fair, that's half chicken.
I should
isn't it?
get that.
So the sound of
We are
this
number 2.
ultra-modern cyborg is just like Alpo sliding.
That's exactly correct.
Oh, yeah.
That is exactly right. 10 iconic movie sounds and how they were made.
Number 2.
From Jurassic Park, can you tell how they made the T-Rex roar?
they hit a man in the testicles.
I'll say,
I've heard it was like
trumpet with a muffle.
Isn't it a combination of animals like a lion, a tiger, an eagle screeching, and they kind of put it all together?
Correct. So, and it's not, they didn't quite put them all together. They just used them throughout the entirety of when the T-Rex was in there. So he slowed down various animal noises from a baby elephant squeal, which I believe is that one there.
Yeah.
To alligators gurgling, to a tiger snarl. They even used the guy's Jack Russell Terrier. There's a time when he jumps out and he actually attacks and kills and then eats a dinosaur within the movie. And that is his Jack Russell Terrier just going after whatever, a toy or whatever he's doing.
It's funny. I don't remember exactly what video game it is, but there's a video game company in our building. And we were talking to some of the guys that design EA Sports. And I want to say it is a zombie game, but whatever it is, he goes, he's like, yeah, man, the sound of the zombies, because every time they're kind of snarling and making this wet breathing sound.
Sure.
Oh, crap. What breed of dog was it?
That's a pug.
Yeah, that's right. He's like, yeah, we put microphones up the pug because that's how they sound.
Yeah. Don't worry about breathing issues in the van.
That's right. 10 iconic movie sounds. We all know this sound. Do you know what made it?
If I remember this one right, because I was when Star Wars came out, they did a lot of how Star Wars was made back when I was a kid. And not when they first opened the lightsaber, but wasn't it? I want to say the buzzing sound is like the buzzing of actual bee wings. And I believe that when they first opened it up, they like hit a mallet to a spring or something like that.
So it says Star Wars sound designer created the distinctive sound of the lightsaber by combining the hum of an idle film projector and the buzz from an old TV set.
Okay.
And then they actually taped that sound and then brought another sound recorder by the stereo, which is how you get the swooshing sound of it. Because they weren't just going to hold it still. They were waving them all over the place, so it needed to make a waving sound.
I thought it was like a theremin or something,
that is an iconic sound.
Let's see. If you're going to watch anything tonight, we got sports on. The NBA playoffs are on. Game 1 against the Clippers versus the Jazz, as well as the NHL playoffs. Game 5, the tied series between the Golden Knights and the Avalanche. And if you're going to watch anything late night tonight, Seth Meyers has Joel McHale.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it. You are listening to The Men's Room.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Fishing trip is ruined when a whale jumps out of the water and lands on a guy's head. Meanwhile, a woman is impaled by a beach umbrella down the ocean and is happy that she's not dead. Two sisters argue over the price of a manicure, and they decide to shoot the salon owner. Florida teen rear-ends cop a car on interstate, and he's going to need a loaner. And a man tells friends he wins $500,000 in the lottery. So they spend thousands on a 13-hour bender. The guy lied. It is time for headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my call.
All right, top story. We got a Tampa where a teenager got quite the scare before graduation. The day before the ceremony, the teenager made the mistake of rear-ending a police officer. Terrified, the young man asked the officer if he was going to be taken to jail. The officer reassured him that it wasn't that big of a deal and that this kind of thing happens all the time. She then accepted an invitation by the teenager to attend his graduation ceremony.
That's very cool.
That's very cool.
And then place him under arrest as soon as he got his diploma.
Right. Now you're an adult. In other news, a man in the UK played an interesting quote-unquote prank on his friends. He called a handful of them up, telling them that he had won a $328,000 in the local lottery, and he wanted them all to celebrate. What happened next was a 13-hour bender that ended up costing him thousands. He had saved up knowing that they were going to be going pedal to the metal, but woke up the next morning without his phone and $80 to his name. He says it was well worth it.
Why not?
Well, good, man.
Yeah, they had a good time.
I just don't know how that's a prank.
Right, it's not a prank because the only person who lost money was him.
Right.
Like, you lied.
I just want to blow this money and have fun.
Exactly.
So, just a good excuse to do it.
Right.
You think any of his friends were offended? Like, I can't believe you went out and bought us champagne and booze, and we had 13 hours of a great time, and You still paid for it, but you didn't win the lottery.
Cool. 13 hours. They did a lot more than that.
They did, man.
I'm keeping
and they
it
were the
legal.
ones pulling the bottles, too. I mean, he was footing the bill. They're like, let's get these couple bottles of champagne.
Hey, anybody want to take us out and do that? We're in.
You bet.
We'll join you.
Yeah, I don't care if you won the lottery. Doesn't matter.
Send us an email to men'sroom@KSW.com. That easy.
Let's go nuts. A woman in Texas was arrested after she shot a beauty salon owner because of an argument between the two about the price of a mani-pedi. She debated the price of the service with the owner before storming out of the salon, leaving her sister to argue with the owner. She soon returned to rejoin the argument, eventually shooting the owner and fleeing the scene with her sister. Luckily, she left her phone behind, and the police were able to track her down. Way to go, dummy. We go to Ocean City, Maryland, where a woman has taken up arms against the city. A while back, she was enjoying one of the beaches within the city where she was the unfortunate victim of an incident in which an umbrella was blown by harsh winds and ended up impaling her in the chest.
Yes.
That's the city's fault.
She had surgery to remove the object from her chest, but still has some lasting effects. She and her lawyer are suing the city and the umbrella company, citing negligence on both of their parts, because, it's their fault. And that is it for your headlines with that. Mike Hawkins. All right.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time for the return of Who Sucks Less. The lovely Taryn Daly is up next.
Yes, indeed, it is all true. But in the meantime, we be all up out this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network.
Oh, man!
A Double Flush production.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.